Hi, everybody. My name is Emily Olson, and it's my turn in the week to tell you about why I'm a Beachbody Coach. And Carrie Kinsey is my sponsor coach, and so I'll be excited to share my connection with her later on. And just thanks so much for being here this week. It's been great to see you share about where each of you is at in your journey, both health-wise and with the questions that you have about what it means to be a Beachbody coach. A little background about me. I dealt with some pretty significant self-esteem issues as well as some of the other coaches have talked about when I was little. I was a bigger child, and when I started elementary school, on the first day, it was kind of like the rest of the kids decided that they needed someone to pick on for the next 6 years, and unfortunately that was me. And so I dealt with a lot of that. Sometimes it was because of, the fact that I was a little bit bigger than everybody else, and other things too. But I did did go through counseling at the time, pretty much the whole time during elementary school, and had some really good support. And very grateful for those people who kind of helped me in my journey then. My parents were very supportive, and the community I had at the church that I was going to, and so I'm very grateful for that. And junior high for me was actually a very good experience because I was not in the same school that I was in, and not really at junior high with the people that I went to elementary school. So it was sort of like a fresh start for me. And it was also sort of a fresh start for our family too. My mom lost 35 pounds doing a Weight Watchers style program through one of our local hospitals in the town that I grew up. And so our family really became more committed to a healthy way of living, healthy way of eating. I ate a lot of rice cakes when I was in junior high, and that was in the 80s, and they weren't chocolate or caramel or whatever they are nowadays. I don't think I've had a rice cake in 20 years anyway. So, anyhow, I was always an active kid too. I did a lot of sports in junior high. I played basketball, volleyball, and track and field, and played softball in summers, and loved to ice skate in the wintertime. So it's not that I wasn't active. It was just, I think for me, part of my upbringing, part of my genetics, and that kind of thing. It was kind of a struggle for me. So, but that's, I guess, a little bit of background. Some of those self-esteem issues still continue, and again, I think the other coaches have definitely talked about how that's both been a challenge for them to overcome, and it's also been something that has fueled their desire to help other people. And that's definitely the kind of the source of where my desire to be a Beachbody coach came out of. But my story is a little bit different than Carrie and Rachel and the other coaches, is that I'm actually a relatively new Beachbody coach. I've only been coaching for about 2.5 months now. And I sort of went all in from the beginning. I am a lifelong musician. I'm a pianist and a vocalist. I'm the music director at a church right now. My husband's a pastor. And so I've been doing music a long time. I've done musical theater, and that's a huge part of my life. That's kind of the other largely significant part of my vocation and what I feel called to do. But I've also, because of kind of my active background, and I love fitness, and I'm a runner, and throughout my years in college and young adult and all that kind of thing, I've tried out a whole bunch of stuff. I love outdoor things and indoor things, and I've been so grateful for my journey to kind of be able to overcome and really find things for me that help my health to really blossom and flourish. I think that's been a good thing for me. And I'm almost 40. I think Rachel talked about she's almost 40. And when you get to this age, you want to do things that you want to do. You don't want to do things that other people tell you to do. So but in addition to my being a musician and really finding that as a big part of my vocation, I wanted to be able to share and help people in kind of the health and wellness area of my life. I have also been a personal chef and a caterer. I've worked with food for a long time. I don't do that as a profession anymore, but I've always been a foodie. I used to write a food column when I lived in Michigan for the newspaper where I lived at the time. And so to combine those two kinds of things, the health and the nutrition, is really key. And for me, it's just been very interesting for me to read and develop the way that I eat, that I feel best, and wanting to share that with other people. So because I'm very passionate about those kinds of things, I'm members of lots of groups on Facebook. I tend to eat more paleo. If you're familiar with that style of eating, I don't really eat a lot of grains or dairy, and that's really the way that I feel the most healthy. And so I'm parts of those groups, and so I follow all sorts of people's Facebook pages and in different groups and conversations and things like that. And so I had begun to follow Carrie's page, which is called Kickboxing, Kale, and Kiddos. And I actually had to go back. This is really funny. Today I had to go back and look at the history of our conversation, which now is really super long because I'm one of her coaches and I ask questions all the time. But I had to go back and find what was the original reason that we got connected. And it's actually because she had posted a 30-day squats and abs challenge. I think that's what it was. Anyway, it was really funny. So I had to go back and look at that, and so I had participated with that, and she'd messaged all of us, and then so just through my connection on her page, she asked if people wanted a Shakeology sample, and so I had said yes. So she sent me one, and then we just continued in the conversation, and she did a really good job of keeping in contact with me, and I think she saw that I was interested, and she invited me to the open house, the coaching open house that I had gone to in August, and I really found that was really interesting. And then I went on vacation with my family later that month, right around Labor Day, and it was a chance for me to really think about what I had seen and what I had heard, and maybe this was a way for me to take a first step into that health and wellness coaching area. Because for me, I have a bigger picture, which I can kind of finish with towards the end of my video here. So anyhow, so we got connected, and I decided to make the jump. I bought Pio as a challenge pack and signed up as a coach at the same time. And at first I said, oh, I'm going to start slowly and that kind of thing. And I really changed my mind once I saw, and once I got into the Beachbody community. So not just getting the Pio and starting the workouts. And as a runner, the reason I chose it was because it was something that would help me kind of balance the things that I already did with my own fitness. But also then being in the community and being online in the different groups, and the support that you get is amazing. I have done one other home direct sales company before. I was in retail management for 10 years, and then I decided to do this other home direct business, and there is no other company that will match the kind of support that you will get here with Beachbody. Not just your upline coaches, but the whole company is just, and the fact that they are committed to something that really matters. We are not selling a thing. We are not selling a product that people will hoard and have more stuff in their life. We are giving them life through the things that we're offering to help them with their own fitness and nutrition. And I'm starting to get a little choked up because that's part of my why, is really wanting people to experience that life and that joy. So part of my big picture is that Beachbody is one piece of my puzzle. For me, I'm also looking at getting certified as a personal trainer, and then also eventually doing a certification program in holistic nutrition, in integrative nutrition. And for me, once, as I'm on this journey and really starting to integrate those other tools, being a really successful Beachbody coach will just be amazing, because I'll have all of these tools, all of the wonderful things that we have as far as Beachbody, and then the other things that I'm really passionate about. The other part of my why is something that that was talked about yesterday, which was yesterday's focus, which was about making money. And I realize my video is getting a little long, but this is a huge part of my why. For me, the finances is really important, and I'm going to start to get a little choked up. As I mentioned, both my husband and I are in ministry. We have a little boy who's almost 4. We both have our master's degrees, and so we have student debt. We have all kinds of things that we're wanting to deal with so that we can live the life that we really want to live, that we can give for our son. And any of you who have children, you know what that's like to really have that. And I've been someone who's not worked a lot of high-paying jobs. I didn't leave a corporate job to to be a Beachbody coach. It's been something that's been such an inspiration to know that the financial opportunity is there. And so what I suggest for each of you as you consider this is that there are some really wonderful opportunities. You can't make it all about the money, but the why for us is knowing that we can deal with the debt that we have, so that as we move into our 40s and the rest of our life, that we can really focus on the things that matter, that we can do things for our family and with our family, that make memories and make experiences. And that's so what I want for my son. And so I just encourage you to continue to consider this opportunity, and just know that the support is there, and that any of us will always reach out. If you put in the time and the effort to really look at all of the things that you will have in those first 30 days once you commit to being a coach, if you really look at the support that you have, and then also the if you do your vital behaviors. We talked about the vital behaviors. I'm a little tired today because since I've been a coach, I've been committing to doing my vital behaviors, which sometimes means that I'm up until midnight. But for me, it's been so rewarding to see all of my hard work begin to pay off after 2 months. And so if you decide to make the jump, and especially if you decide to actively coach right from the beginning, please know that all of the time and effort that you will put in will begin to pay off. It really will. So thanks so much for watching my video and the other videos so far this week. And I'm sorry this one's went so long. This is actually my first time really doing the video about my why. So thanks so much for being along with this journey with us, and listening to mine as well. Thanks, and have a good night.